Welcome to the Balanced Flux podcast. I'm Tenny McLeod, and these are my takes on cultivating mental health, enhancing personal productivity, thereby living a balanced life. I hope that you'll be inspired to expand the quality of your life and in turn, empower others along the way. Expect new episodes on Sundays at 1 p.m. UTC on major podcast apps and platforms. And remember that you can always get more information on the website at balancedflux.com. So join me now and every week on this inspiring and fulfilling journey through the Balanced Flux podcast. Imagine you're at an all-you-can-eat buffet. You've piled your plate high, but after a few bites, you realize you're full, plus the food isn't that great, and yet you keep stuffing yourself just because you paid for it. That's the sunk-cost fallacy in action. It's a common mental trap that can trip you up in many areas of life, from your finances to your commitments and personal growth, and in this case, even how much you eat. Simply put, the sunk-cost fallacy is the tendency to continue investing in something, whether it's time, money, or effort, just because you've already invested in it, and even if it's no longer beneficial or rational in any way. It's like throwing good money after bad, hoping to magically recoup your initial investment, even when it's clear that the ship has sailed. You might think you've already put so much into something that you can't give up now. But that's the fallacy talking. It whispers sweet nothings in your ear, convincing you to persist even when logic screams for you to cut your losses and run. See, the sunk-cost fallacy can manifest in different ways. There's the obvious financial kind, like pouring money into a failing business venture or refusing to sell a stock that's tanking because you've already lost a bundle. It's like trying to save a burnt pizza by adding extra cheese, a valiant attempt, but it's certainly not going to fix the charred crust. Then there's the time sinkhole, where you spend hours on a project that's lost its relevance or productivity simply because you've already sunk a ton of time into it. You become a prisoner of your past efforts, unable to break free from the gravitational pull of wasted hours. And consider the emotional quicksand you get stuck into, where you helplessly cling to a miserable commitment or a dead-end job because you've invested too much of yourself than you'd probably care to admit. You become entangled in a web of should-haves and could-haves, unable to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, some believe that quitting means admitting defeat. They equate cutting your losses with waving a white flag and surrendering to the enemy of failure. However, quitting can be an incredibly smart and courageous decision that frees you to pursue greener pastures. It's about recognizing when a battle is lost and strategically retreating to fight another day. Others fall into the trap of thinking they are on the verge of a breakthrough and can't give up, which often leads to doubling down on a losing proposition. They become overly fixated on the finish line, blind to the gaping chasm that lies between them and their goals. But realistically, past investments shouldn't dictate your future decisions. Instead, they should serve as lessons, redefine your direction, and align with your intended and evolving purpose. Having said that, overcoming the sunk-cost fallacy isn't always as straightforward as you'd want it to be. You might experience short-term discomfort, like admitting a mistake or accepting a loss, which can be tough emotionally. It's like ripping off a bandage, a momentary sting followed by a wave of relief. The fear of missing out, or FOMO, might also rear its ugly head, haunting you with relentless doubts and insecurities. It paints a rosy picture of what might have been had you only persevered. And sometimes it can be genuinely difficult to assess whether a past investment is truly a sunk cost or if there's still a glimmer of hope. The line between perseverance and stubbornness can be blurry indeed. Moreover, emotional attachment can distort your thinking, making it hard to let go of a project or commitment even when it's clearly not serving you. Social pressure can also play a role, especially if others are invested in the same sinking ship. You feel obligated to stay the course to avoid disappointing those who have placed their faith in you. And sometimes, you might not even realize you're falling prey to the fallacy. It creeps into your subconscious, subtly influencing your decisions without you even knowing it. And yes, it can be that sneaky. So how can you break free from this insidious fallacy? Begin by focusing on the future without dwelling on what's already been spent. Ask yourself, what are the future costs and benefits of continuing a particular investment? Seek outside perspectives from someone who isn't emotionally entangled in the situation, as impartiality is key, and well, a fresh pair of eyes can often provide the clarity you need to make a rational decision. You can also set limits in advance, deciding how much time, money, or effort you're willing to invest before calling it quits. Without a doubt, the sunk-cost fallacy is a pervasive mental hurdle that can obstruct your clarity and hinder your progress in various aspects of life. It's a cunning adversary, misguiding and tempting you to cling to the past even when it's obviously detrimental to your future. However, by recognizing and sidestepping this mental trap, you can reclaim your power to make rational choices, reduce unnecessary risks, and unlock a world of new opportunities. Granted, it might take some effort up front, but the sense of freedom and clarity you gain is priceless. Remember, no matter how you look at it, the past is a sunk cost, and to stay afloat, however, you may very well need to abandon ship. And that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Balanced Flux podcast. A new episode drops every Sunday at 1 p.m. UTC on major podcast apps and platforms. You can also listen to the podcast and extend your support through the website at balancedflux.com. This podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. Kindly seek the appropriate care and treatment from licensed professionals. Do join the community on social channels and send your messages there or via email. Either way, if this podcast sparks some form of inspiration, I'd be more than glad to hear from you. Thank you for sharing your time and mind space. Your presence and engagement truly make this journey even more fulfilling and rewarding. I'm Tenny McLeod, signing off for now, and until the next time, stay safe, best wishes, and keep striving to achieve your balanced flux.